Imagine if you've got owners and designers, general contractors, mechanical contractors and electrical contractors, and everybody's designing and bidding in a transparent way, using analytical tools like a CMT to really understand what are we designing, what are we bidding, what are we trying to build.
And that's why I got this group together.
CMT is a Revit add-in that we built for MCERF, and what it does is it measures the complexity of the routable MEP space in a building. And then we measure the volume of how much space you have for routing of MEP, and then we measure how much MEP is in that little grid. And so what you get is you get a heat map of all that color of stuff that is in your building, as well as you can output all of that.
And the heat map's important because it's a very clear and concise way to explain to somebody who might have a very little understanding of what's going on with the mechanical drawing. And we show them the heat map and say, look, we're already at 75% congestion or above. The really crazy ones are when they're over 100%.
So on jobs that show an over 100% congestion, had they not used this tool, I mean, what happens on jobs like that?
It's 6, 7, 12 BIM designers in a room for weeks, modeling, trying to find a solution that's not there.
Buildings, architects at a high level build a box, right?
Right.
And then mechanical designers tell us what to put in that box kind of in a roughly schematic way. And then, the rest of the contracting BIM process is really kind of filling up that box with everything before we go to build it.
We are back in the paper days. We're using atlases when we have Google Maps on our phones, but we're not leveraging it. So what are some of the reasons why we're not leveraging data the way we should?
I mean, the Google Maps is a great analogy. CMT can be used in kind of the same ways. For example, we can now actually definitively say that the core of the building and the corridors are 10 times more important than anywhere else in the building. And
that's where you'll make your money, especially on design and build costs.
Right. So if a design team can get the corridor right and not get anything else right, everybody will win.
One of the first test subjects we've had through the trials has been somebody taking a change order to the owner and giving them a volumetric analysis as opposed to an anecdotal.
Well, and I think this whole industry has always been about data guarantees. You bid a project and says, I will do it for this amount, but there's never really a true data transparency. And I think, doesn't this really bring more data transparency to the world?
All of these tools are they're all about technology, but really they're all about communication, right? This tool avoids you coming to a place where you've got multiple stakeholders in a room over a set of plans 3 months behind schedule and just realizing at that point that the design intent isn't achievable. If we can start to use these tools with different players, earlier on, that's when I think you'll start to see, just like building information modeling, the technology is going to start to change the behavior of the industry.
So what prevents that perfect world, from happening as a mechanical contractor? I mean, I found a lot of times you guys get the information way too late in the game, right?
Yeah, that may be, although, the industry's changing a little bit there. I mean, there's a lot more collaboration, there's alternative delivery methods, there's IPD and stuff like that.
IPD, it's integrated project delivery.
When you couple that to some of these technologies, that's when you're going to have a more efficient delivery.
Before you have that big meeting where you're talking about cost and schedule delay, 2 months before that, you can have a meeting where you go, hey, look, if we follow the trends that we're on, we're going to have a problem. I'm warning you now. Why don't we come about a way to fix it right now?
I love this predictive analytics, right? What's the absence of predictive analytics?
Reactive overruns?
Yeah.
Well, no, but in all reality, that's thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars.
Speaking of cost, what is the cost of this thing?
That'd be zero.
Did you say free?
We were fortunate enough to work this through our nonprofit foundation. We went through MCERF on this project because we wanted to make sure that a tool like this was available to not just mechanical contractors, but to the entire industry.
Check out mcerf.org to learn more.